it's headed by a guy named Bob Shireman, who used to work at the federal level. And Bob's group, I think, has done the estimates on what would be available from tuition tax credits if the amount was charged. If they haven't, I'd be glad to take a look at that.
Yeah, he testified at one of our previous hearings. So.
Can't remember what his
Jack.
group.
Recognizing that the community colleges have got a bifurcated goal, the certificate program, and then the sort of the college prep, the 2-year. We've heard some comments regarding the restructuring of the system in order to get a much closer relationship or affiliation between the community college and the state colleges, so that you, in essence, are taking classes at a state college by attending a community college. As we all know, one of the problems is sometimes you go through, you get your 2 or 3 or 4 years, however long it takes, you get there and you get to the state college and they don't accept some of the units. Have you thought about, now recognizing there's a lot of structural problems with restructuring, have you thought about that at all in terms of that affiliation?
Yeah, in many states they have very strong articulation programs between 2 and 4 year institutions. And in fact, you passed some legislation, I think it was 2 years ago, that called for greater articulation, and there's some really good work going on. It's taking a long time to get there. The work that David Spence did when he was part of the California State University system demonstrated that basically students who come from community colleges to the CSU, in his case he was looking at the CSU and not at both because he was there at USC and CSU, but at least in his data, it showed that those students were very likely to succeed. They were likely to get a degree, as likely, if not more likely, than the students at the CSU who started there. Those who transferred came in, but that they were taking from 1 semester to 1 year longer because of the difficulty in transfer. And that's just, that's a huge opportunity cost for that student. They're out of the workforce for 6 to 12 months. It's also a huge opportunity cost for the state because they're basically not out there as productive members of the workforce. I mean, the revenue lost to the state is substantial. So there are very strong reasons to try and make sure that those transitions are the best they can be. Certainly, there are going to be circumstances when students lose some credits. Nationally, the biggest problem, and we've done a lot of work on transfer and articulation, isn't that credits aren't counted. It's that a lot of them aren't counted toward a degree. And so you come in and they'll say, well, we'll accept all of your courses. But those 3 courses in business, we won't accept those toward the business degree. Well, now that means you've got another semester of business courses that you have to take or something along those lines. Is that responsible?
So, recognizing that, though, I guess the question is, what do you think about a much closer structural reorganization in order to provide someone going to school here maybe is also a student automatically at Cal State Long Beach?
Well, I think, University of Oregon
I know that's very controversial.
Yeah, no, Oregon State University has a very similar relationship with Chemeketa Community College, where when you're admitted to one, you're essentially admitted to the other. I think those are good. I'm not sure you have to do that in governance changes. My general response is governance is not your answer. Structure, some changes and things like that are really the answer. That's not true entirely in your state. You have a state university system and you have local community colleges.